trouble they're brewing for Baiju's. But moving on, EMotorad, an Indian startup manufacturing electric bikes, raised $20 million in a Series B round as it aims to disrupt China's market domination and expand its presence in global markets. Now, the Series B round was led by Panthera Growth Partners with participation from X to 10X, Ulterior Capital and Green Frontier Capital. The 3-year-old startup has raised more than $22.5 million in total funding. Joining us now to discuss this further is Aditya Oza, the co-founder of EMotorad, and also with me is Shruti. Aditya, thank you so much for joining us on Startup Street today. You're an electric cycle startup. Talk to us about how you plan to spend the money that you've raised and how are you revolutionizing the electric cycle industry with the offerings that you have?
Perfect. Thank you, Shruti. Thank you, Arundhati, for having me on the show. It's a pleasure to represent not just EMotorad, but also the EV and startup community. I think when we talk about the kind of funds that we have raised, the utilization majorly will be going towards our manufacturing capabilities. We will be scaling up to 4 lakh vehicles per year. Beyond this, we also want to double down on our tech capabilities. I think that is a moat that we have, that we're trying to build. Because currently, if you'll see in the global scenario, the world's dependency of electric bicycles have been on China. And to rival them, I think India has an edge when it comes to software technologies. And we are really doubling down on our drivetrain technology, upon which the layer of embedded in software makes it something that possibly our competitors in the neighboring country are going to find it very hard to replicate. Also, a lot of the funds will be utilized on going deeper into the markets, both Indian and European. So I think that's what the major utilization looks like.
All right, Aditya, thank you for taking us through your fund allocation plans. You know, you sell eco-friendly, futuristic e-bikes, but tell us how competitively are they priced? Who's the target audience and how many bikes have you sold till date?
I think when it comes to pricing, Arundhati, you must have seen most of the companies in India in the initial stage were priced at a very low price segment. And that is exactly what we did not want to do. We wanted to understand Indian market, and Indian market has been such where people have always ended up paying value for money. And we bought in the technology, we bought in the kind of vehicles which could possibly scale at with a value-driven market. So for us, the TG currently stands, anyone who's looking to buy a cycle should actually consider buying a smart cycle instead. And that's what we're trying to call it. It gives you a scooter in it, it gives you a calorie tracking in it, it gives you geofencing for parents who wants to buy it for their children, it gives you crash detection. So there is so much that we built on top of our current set of technology. I think for us, it is very important to try and understand that we might not be the cheapest bike in the market, but we are definitely one that is worth paying for.
So it's not the cheapest bike, but you have all of these offerings within it, so it makes it worth the money is what you're saying. But what's the target for this year? How many have you already sold? It's around 80,000 from what I know. So what's the target for this year? And also tell us, you have a couple of products. Which is your best seller at this point? And any new launches in the pipeline?
Yeah, perfect. So I think, Shruti, to explain that, I think we have done 100. We will be doing 100% growth from our current 80,000 unit that we have sold so far. So we are planning to do somewhere close to 1 lakh unit in FY25. We also have a target of possibly going on and increasing our distributorship from 200 to 800 across India. When you talk about the kind of TG that we are going after has been not just India, but also European and B2B markets internationally is somewhere that we plan to expand on.
Okay. Aditya, Shruti, you know, you've made around 300 crores of revenue returns in just 3 years. How much do you hope to clock this year? Also, what's the offline and online mix and how do you plan to grow that?
Perfect. I think online market in India has scaled very well. People have started looking, especially when the EV came in. Arundhati, you must have seen so many different companies offering their initial launches online. So for us, that market is definitely exciting. But our major contribution, almost more than 65% of sales come from offline. When you talk about what numbers are we planning to do this year, the idea is to go ahead and try and sell 1 lakh units, which will be 25% of the total capacity that we're trying to develop in our manufacturing plant, and then scale it up from there year on year. I think the growth rate for us so far has been close to 400% year on year. Although at this scale, the growth rate comes down, but we are still drastically trying to make 100% growth next year.
All right, so trying to make 100% growth next year. But, you said 65% of it is online. Talk to us about what your reach is. What markets are you currently present in globally? And what's the road to profitability looking like at this point?
Perfect. I think, Shruti, just to correct you, 65% of the sales are coming from offline as a market because it's an automobile product. People like to first try it, test it, try and gain that trust that this product suffices their need. Currently, as we speak, Shruti, we have doubled down on a lot of markets. We currently have our presence in 18 plus countries as we speak. But the idea is to not just open new markets now. This year will be more about focusing and going deeper into the markets that we exist. India is one of the markets that we really want to go ahead and build further on and really take it to really join this revolution of electric vehicles in India. We also want to make sure that our expansion and our utilization of funds does help a lot of manufacturing startup come up from India that can supply to the world, and globally we can rival the likes of China.
Picking up from what you just said, you currently source 70% of the components locally. So tell me, how big are you? Your manufacturing facilities are, which cities are they in, and what's the plan to expand these units?
I think today, as we speak, we are present in close to 150 cities with our 200 plus dealerships. The plan to expand is to go deeper into tier 2 and 3, because traveling at 7 paisa per kilometer at an electric bike that starts at 24,999 with our X-Factor range, I think gives a lot of justice to tier 3s and 2s of the world. Plus, I think, Anubhati, Shruti, it's important to see that we do not need a charging infrastructure requirement. So you can charge your bikes like a mobile phone. So it's a really good solution when it comes to the tier 2 and tier 3s of the world. So it will be going deeper into the market in the coming year.
All right, so going deeper into the markets in the coming year. All right, Aditya, we're completely out of time, but thank you so much for taking us through your growth plans and what's going to come up for EMotorad next.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Shruti. Thank you so much.
Quick work, a no-code automation and